Now, many of you already know that one of the things that we've been discussing is that a number of big financial institutions have been increasing their holdings onto Nio. I mean, we all know that JP Morgan, by the end of last year, they had almost 4 million shares of Nio. This is what we read. And today, I want to tell you another big financial institution, which is Union Bank of Switzerland, which apparently they own around or over 40 million shares. They increased their holdings on by around 975% in the fourth quarter, making them to have this amount of shares. This is good news because the most that UBS has had in the past in terms of the total ownership of Nio was around 5.7 million shares, and to see them that as the end of Q4 or at the end of Q4 they had over 40 million shares which they own of Nio, it speaks volume. It appears or it says to us that they might know something that we don't know, of course, right? And some of these things that they know, of course, is Nio getting to profitability very soon. I mean, one of the things that really impressed the investors, it's with no doubt the Nio sales that they generated in Q4. I mean, in Q4, you know that Nio sold over 70,000 cars, which is something that is so good because that was an all-time high, a quarterly record, which is something that excited the new investors. Deliveries were over 31,000, which that obviously is also a good thing and excited the investors. These are some of the things that led into these big financial institutions, I would like to believe, to increase their holdings onto Nio, and to see Union Bank of Switzerland adding their holdings or increasing their holdings by 975%. It is something that is just so great. I mean, have a look at the graph, have a look at the bar of how much now Union Bank of Switzerland own in terms of Nio shares. They've never ever owned close to this in the past, and this speaks volumes as they are saying that Nio is approaching to profitability, or it's going to almost profitability, which is something that is great, and it is supposed to motivate us as the investors to always also do the same. But obviously these guys, you will know that short term they will always come and readjust, sell their holdings, but this is not supposed to scare us because imagine Union Bank of Switzerland, like 2-3 years back, they were owning over 5 million shares of Nio, but they trimmed their holdings. But right now they own over 40 million shares of Nio, which is something that is great, and it shows you that once again they've become positive. But I have been on this stock. I've never left Nio. In fact, all I've been doing is to increase my holdings because I know this company, that I know that Nio is a company which is set for greatness. It's a company which is expected to do very well, and therefore all I do when the share price go down, especially below my average, I increase my holdings onto Nio because I know blue sky is coming. I mean, Morgan Stanley, it's also another company that highlighted that they increased their holdings onto Nio by 77% in Q4, and now they hold 13.7 million shares, which is valued at around $108 million. This is something that is great, something that shows you that it's a company that some of the investors, those some are trimming, some are buying, which is something that is great. I mean, talk about some that are trimming. You can talk about BlackRock that has trimmed, of course, their holdings onto Nio, from owning over 60 million shares of Nio to now owning just over 2 million shares. This company has trimmed a lot onto Nio, but hopefully they also come back because Nio is a company that we all know that this year we are expecting great things, especially in Q4. So yeah, man, these are some of the things that we are seeing, or these are some of the big transactions that we have been seeing onto Nio, or we saw onto Nio in Q4. It looks like in general, companies are increasing their holdings, big institutions are increasing their holdings onto Nio because they realize the potential that lies within the Nio stock. I mean, a lot of companies like JP Morgan, you know that in Q1 they came and trimmed their holdings onto Nio simply because they never expected Nio to give the good performance they gave last year. They were expecting Nio to not sell that much because they were not launching any models under the Nio main brand, and therefore that they said it was going to affect their sales, which at the end of the year we saw them in Q4, in fact, saw them increasing their holdings, which led into them having or owning almost 4 million shares by the end of Q4, which this shows you that you don't have to really focus that much on what some of the big institutions say, because they can change anytime based off what they are saying right now, but obviously they always come around, which is what exactly we are seeing from these other big financial institutions when they are talking about Nio. So I am happy, I am excited. I think blue sky is coming. Those that are persevering will most definitely be rewarded with time. Ignore the naysayers, ignore the day-to-day movement, because at the end of the day, we shall be rewarded. Nio is a company which is expected to do very well, and those that are persevering throughout the headwinds of the share price will most definitely be rewarded with time. I mean, I know the hurt that some of you might be feeling because Nio has been at the bottom of the belly, but I know one thing, that we shall be rewarded. Q4 is coming, profitability is coming, and those that are persevering, those that are taking the low trading prices opportunities to load the boat, will most definitely be rewarded with time. Like this video, subscribe, and once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. It takes me some time to make these videos, and all I ask from you is to give it a thumbs up and hit that notification bell, subscribe, and let's spread out this video so that people can be aware what is happening, because out there in the streets, we know that there are quite a number of people that are having a day job to obviously badmouth Nio, talk bad about Nio. So the more these videos spread out, is the more we are going to see retail investors being aware about some of the things that are happening around Nio, especially also what big money is doing or smart money is doing, which is something that obviously videos like these are so great to those that maybe are hesitant, those that are doubting where Nio could be. But again, what you do with your money, it's up to you. As for me and the other investors, we're going to take this low trading price as opportunity to load the boat, because we know one thing, and that is blue sky is coming. I'll see you in the next video. That's all from me, and God bless you all.